Well, and welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today, I'm going to change up a little bit. I had an agate that I got out of the rock shop in Makanda, and I cut it, and the pattern in it didn't seem to be all that good, but it's a good pattern. And I decided I wanted to get away from doing such big agates and to make some preform cabs out of these. So I cut these yesterday. Today's Wednesday, and the 24th, I think, yeah. And my last video is going to be out Friday. The last one I did on the single preform cab, or agate. It was one of these agates. I started to tell you wrong. I thought I'd gotten confused, and I did, but it wasn't the confused that I thought it was. I had more up there than I thought, but I just after the two thicker end, one of them was an end piece. Well, they were kind of both end pieces, but they were cut out of the middle because I had to flip them around halfway in order to get them to clamp into my vise. But anyway, those two big ones that I didn't do so well on because of the crystal breaking out of the quartz crystals breaking out of the fortification lines bothered me. So I'm going to have to figure out another method for doing that, or another way to get the scratches out of it anyway, because none of these are doing it. I may wait till I get all new grit or all new wheels and get them all broke in first, where they're working good. I think I've kind of ruined this one, but I don't think I actually have. It just seems like it. Now it is awful loose. No, I guess not. It just seems softer, but there's more scratches on this side, because I was working these edges to get the 280 grit scratches from my new 280 grit out of there. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start on these. I think I'll do this smaller oval first, and just excuse me, just so that I can start feeling better about the last one's not working out as good as I thought. And I need to get back into the swing of being able to do it lightly and not having the impatience of pressing too hard and putting too many scratches on there. Plus, these ones here, I'll have less tendency to drop them because they're on top sticks. So maybe that's just what I need to do with all of them from now on, is dop them up, but I don't think I could do that to something that big. And that was that was like a smaller one. And there's one that's a little bigger. This is where they got the other one this is the one that I took all the sides off and the top and the bottom, the thicker agate that I just did be out Friday. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to shape both of these as far as the outside edge of my outlines. I'm going to do these two today, and I'll shape the outsides first before I start working on the front. Okay, there's my shape. Now let me get it wet here so you can, I'm kind of curious myself, see what kind of pattern I ended up with. Almost looks like I lost this whole half of this side of the pattern. I don't know, we'll find out once I get it to starting to shine a little better. That'll let me know. This just might be just a little bit too dark a gray or green or bluish Tyndall or whatever to show up, but we'll find out. That's the bad part about these lines. You can't ever, fortification lines, you can never tell how deep they go or whether they change layer by layer as you come down. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this 280 and we'll go from there. I'll bring you back in after I get done with the 280 and show you what it looks like then, and then I'll do all the last three separate. They're all together, I should say. I feel bad about making you guys sit through fast forwarded stuff, so I ain't been putting a whole lot of that in. Just two segments, no more than a minute long after the speeding it up. That's a pitch right in the very top. I think that's where my main pattern's at. Well, some scratches from the 280. Maybe scratches from the 220 too. But they'll be easy to get out. We've been working about an hour, a little over an hour, hour and a half, hour and 15. That's close enough. I can get the rest of that out on the next wheel. Okay. Well, a little bit of a shine on it already. Now I'm not going to be able to get any light to go through it until after I get the dop stick off there. Let me show it to you wet. I don't know if that'll make any difference or not, but as far as seeing the clarification lines, no, you see some of them, I think, on this lighter side. This darker side, I think I've got them all away, taken them all away, ground them all off. That's what I meant to say. Okay, I'm going to go to the 600 grit now. Let me readjust this camera. And here we go. I still didn't put them felts on. I knew there was something else I needed to do yesterday. But I cut these cabs out. But I had to put away a bunch of samples that I had stuck in my box that I used to put my saw in. And then after I did that, I got to realizing there's a bunch of chips down in there from cutting rocks. And here I'm setting all this polished stuff right down on top of them. Luckily, I didn't get any scratches, but I had to figure out some place to put them anyway because they were getting too cluttered for my little credenza over in front of underneath my TV. No, I'm going the wrong direction, dummy. I'm trying to turn it down, and I was turning it up. Okay, I'm back. I lost almost every bit of the pattern that was on this agate on the top, the chevron shaped patterns. It's done though. I even took it off the dop, polished the back. Here's the front again. Let me show it with the light behind it. It shows some of the pattern on half of it, but it's hard to see. You may be able to see that top half, but it only shows it down this side here where it's clear agate underneath it. Now if you turn it to the back's got all the pattern, the chevron pattern on it, but it was a little off center. That's why I used the other side as the front. And I got most of it ground off. It comes down this side and a little around on this bottom down here. And then that little bit of cloudy look in the middle shows a little bit of that pattern, but not much. So what I did with the little, the other one that I was going to do was I polished it flat. I didn't grind it down and round it off. And I managed to keep most of my pattern. It kind of almost seemed like it was going to go off down here at the bottom end, but it didn't. But the main reason for that was because I knew there was absolutely none on the back part. It's just more of a swirl type, more of curved arches. I don't know if you can see that there. Let's try it on this one. Let me also do this. Oh, I didn't zoom that in after I got it out of there. So you can't see any of the pattern. But you can see it on the front. Actually, that light's not doing much good right there. Let me flip this sideways so I can get my fingers off of it. So it's got all the pattern still on it. It's not very prominent down on the lower half, but it's still there. Whereas this one, let me go ahead and flip that light up again. Actually, I don't know if I need to. There's the part you can see. It's more yellow now. The other half has absolutely no pattern on it. You can see a little bit of the front pattern coming across, but other than that, it's pretty much gone. But yet the back is all still there. Now I don't think I'll have that problem with these other three. I'll probably do those on each on their own video, because they're so big. They're a lot bigger than this one, which was the one that's why I started with the two little ones. I knew it'd take me less time to get those done than, I don't know why I shut that off. I just needed to turn it down. Yeah, I kind of thought I thought I was going to lose some of it. I didn't think I was going to lose that much of it on this one, because it was all there front and back. But for some reason, it must be in layers coming down this way, is why I got out of it over here. On this half. But it's going to have to do. Yeah, I even took it to the aluminum oxide. I took both of these before I took them off the dop stick. I took them to the aluminum oxide. And I think you can see the patterns on the back of this one better on this camera also. There's the shine. I didn't show the shine on the other camera on this. There's the back. And then there's the front. I guess I did try to show the front, but it's not going to, because it's so rounded, it's not going to expand that light to where it's, but there are no pits on the fronts of these, or the backs. I've got a few scratches on the back of this one, but I think I'm going to take those out with the, well, I'm not really going to worry about them, actually, because it's going to go in an open back setting. You'll be able to see them, but it's going to still be the back, because it just wouldn't make any sense to wear it with that part facing out and having this as the other side of it. Now, it's a similar, slightly round. I've done round pieces before where they're rounded on the back, but that was only to keep the weight of the stone up there where it was heavy enough to hang without flopping all around when you're walking around. But anyway, that's that's it for these two. I'll start one of these in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll be able to do some better patterns on this one here. It doesn't look like, it looks like it doesn't have as much of that gray in it. None of these three do. As if you look, now that dark spot in the center is my Doppin wax. These ones ought to come out looking real good, I'm hoping. Although these two just have the straight fortification lines on it. They don't have the chevron shaped or L shaped, because it was actually L shaped and I just had to turn the stone to get them to show up. Or to get them to show up as a chevron shape, or where it could, and I think I'll leave it. It depends on whether I mount it myself or let somebody else mount it as to how it's going to be mounted. I'll probably mount it with the chevrons up like this rather than down. I was in the Navy, and I don't want anybody to think that that's why I did it down, because that's the chevrons ranking for enlisted men. 1 bar is the 3rd class, two chevrons is the 2nd, and 3 is the 1st. And then the Chiefs got 3 with an arch over the top. All of that good stuff. I don't know if any of you are military or ex-military, but you might already know that, but this is for those that don't. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey, I said it the right way this time, not scribe. I didn't say scribe and share. I said subscribe and share. And I get another dang telemarketer call. Waddington, New York. All of them from New York. So anyway, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.